This 1984 High Court case involved a special type of surgical stapler used instead of traditional stitches in surgery. The United States Surgical Corporation had invented and patented this product. One of their gun US salesmen was a fellow named Blackman. He visited Australia and discovered that surgical staples were not yet widely used, and the staples were not actually patented in Australia. Blackman moved to Australia and formed a company, Hospital Products, which became the sole distributor of the staples in Australia. But he then engaged specialists to reverse engineer the products. He repackaged US Surgical Corporation products as his own. Eventually, he started competing with the US products instead of selling them. Now, the US Surgical Corporation had a pretty clear case for breach of contract, but all they'd be entitled to was damages to compensate them for any loss they could prove. They also wanted the profits that had been made by Blackman using their technology. Now, they could get this if they obtained an equitable remedy called an account of profits, but they needed a cause of action in equity law. The US company therefore argued that Hospital Products owed them a fiduciary duty. A fiduciary duty exists where one party has a special duty to act in the interests of another party. So, trustees have a fiduciary duty to beneficiaries, solicitors have a fiduciary duty to their client, company directors have a fiduciary duty to shareholders. There are a bunch of these categories, but the categories are not closed. The High Court considered the nature of fiduciary duties in order to decide if one existed here. There are a number of interesting statements. Justice Mason said, "The critical feature of these relationships is that the fiduciary agrees to act in the interests of another person, in the exercise of a power or discretion which will affect the interests of that other person in a legal or practical sense. The relationship between the parties is therefore one which gives the fiduciary a special opportunity to exercise the power or discretion to the detriment of that other person, who is accordingly vulnerable to abuse by the fiduciary of his position." Well, the court found that there was no special vulnerability here. This was just a normal contract between two businesses. As a result, the US company was entitled to damages for breach of contract, but not to any equitable remedies.